Developer blocks my irrigation canal, so I redirect the overflow to their new showroom. I owned 40 acres of farmland on the edge of town, and the most important thing on that land wasn't my tractor, my barn, or even my crops. It was the irrigation canal that cut through the property. That canal had watered my fields for 3 generations. Without it, my corn and soybean crops would dry out in a week. For decades, the canal flowed peacefully across my land before draining into the river behind town. Then a real estate developer named Brandon Pierce bought the empty lot next door. Within months, construction crews swarmed the place. They built a giant luxury car showroom with floor-to-ceiling glass walls, polished marble floors, and giant fountains out front. Brandon strutted around the site like he owned the entire county. One morning, I drove out to inspect my fields and nearly slammed the brakes off my truck. The canal was blocked. A massive dirt embankment had been bulldozed directly across the waterway. Huge concrete pipes rerouted the water away from my land and toward a decorative pond beside the showroom. I climbed out furious. My irrigation ditch was almost dry. I confronted the construction foreman, who smugly handed me a folded document. Developer owns adjacent easement rights now, he said. Water's been redirected for landscaping. Landscaping? They stole water from active farmland so customers could stare at fake waterfalls while shopping for luxury SUVs. I called Brandon immediately. He laughed on the phone. Your little ditch doesn't fit the upscale image we're creating, he said. You farmers need to modernize. Modernize? By the next afternoon, half my western field was already drying out under the summer heat. But Brandon made one critical mistake. He blocked the canal, without understanding, where overflow water naturally went during heavy irrigation cycles, straight toward his brand new showroom. See, that canal system was built in the 1940s. During peak flow, excess water traveled through an emergency spill trench running along the backside of my property. The trench eventually emptied downhill near Brandon's building. Normally, the canal balanced itself naturally, but now his dirt barrier had turned the entire system into a pressure cooker. So I made one small adjustment. I opened the old steel floodgate near my north field. At first, nothing happened. Then the backed-up irrigation water surged into the overflow trench like a tidal wave. Thousands of gallons rushed downhill straight toward the showroom property. By sunset, Brandon's luxury parking lot looked like a swamp. Water poured across the asphalt, flooding decorative flower beds and swallowing the expensive stone walkway leading to the entrance. Then the real disaster started. The showroom's giant glass lobby sat slightly below ground, level for modern aesthetics. Water streamed underneath the front doors and flooded the marble floor inside. Customers ran out screaming while employees tried stacking sandbags around luxury sports cars worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. I watched the chaos calmly from my tractor across the field. An hour later, Brandon came racing toward my farm in a soaked designer suit. You flooded my property, he screamed. I handed him a county drainage map. No, I said. Your illegal canal blockage redirected natural overflow onto your own land. Turns out, county engineers agreed with me. Inspectors arrived the next morning and cited Brandon for unlawful obstruction of agricultural water systems. He was fined heavily and ordered to remove the blockage immediately. But the best part? The county also forced him to pay for crop damage, canal restoration, and flood cleanup costs. A week later, excavators tore out his dirt wall while I stood nearby smiling. Now every time I drive